Well, good morning, guys. It is Coach Lou on this Monday morning. We are in the third month of 2020, and we started out this year absolutely on fire with a new vision, a new great vision for the year. Everything was tooling along amazing, and wham! All of a sudden, we've got this big challenge thrown on us like a wet blanket, and the whole world is in this panic and people are panicking. And the title of today's show is CDC, It's Not What You Think. You're right, we're not here to talk about the Center for Disease Control. What it is an acronym I came up with this morning for C being like see with your eyes, even though it doesn't start with a C. It's, if you read it out literally, see with your eyes, decide what that means to you, of what you really see, the truths of what's going on, not the blown up media version of what's going on, and then challenge yourself to make the best of it. And how do we create the best scenario no matter what is coming at us? You see, the reality of it is, it's not what happens. It's what we do with it. It's how we take it. It's how we focus on it that determines your outcome and how you're going to feel about it. You know, we hit this quick, boom, there's going to be an epidemic, and toilet paper rolls off the shelves. See, somebody would see that and decide that means we're going to run out of toilet paper and we're going to shit ourselves to death. And the challenge is we need to go buy all the toilet paper. But the problem is they didn't see the part that doesn't say, that says, you're not going to get explosive diarrhea for weeks on end, that you're going to have to mop up with toilet paper. These are the kind of things that drive me up a wall. Now you could see we're going to have a situation here, absolutely, because guess what? We know we're going to have panic and pandemonium. We see it every time we have a hurricane coming and the shelves get barren. Would I say it would be smart to stock up on some extra water and some, foods that might last a little longer in case there are some of these crazy shutdowns that we're talking about? Yeah, that makes some sense, but it's unbelievable the amount of media hype, and nothing's happened. I mean, yes, a few people have died, and that's a shame, but guess what? And if you watched yesterday, if you're on any of my live channels, people are dying every day from many, many, many different things. And we just lost a very dear friend recently, way too young. Just nothing related to Corona. Okay, people are dying every day. Every minute a family is losing somebody. I get that we don't want a mass death. We don't want a mass, scenario where this disease is going to spread all over our country. But I really have yet to date seen a whole lot of proof as to why this mass hysteria has to be created, as opposed to using a whole lot more common sense and taking some proper preventative. This is where I have an issue. I see blips of the news media, because I am not a big news watcher, because everything is blown up from this big to this big on the news. Now, the problem is here's the deal. When it's negative, the news and the media makes it this big monster, but yet we as individuals and we as a nation don't take the importance of, hey, your health is important in the first place. Let's make that into a big deal and take care of our bodies and our health and, be as healthy as we are. So when something like this comes up, that our chances of survival, our chances of not even catching it, or our chances of it being nothing more than a mild cold would be the case. Okay, so are you with me on this? Yes, there are people that are at higher risk, but those are the same people that are higher risk for the flu. We've got to be very cautious on what we decide to attach the meaning to what's going on right now. I see this morning somebody posting that there's tanks and military and National Guard all over Washington, and the governor has signed an order that all restaurants must close. And, what a knee-jerk reaction, Governor. How about We go, all right, we're going to order these mandated closings. Here's the per diem that will be delivered to this business so they can pay their employees while they've been forced to close. Now, if you choose to close as a business owner, you're taking the consequences financially. If you choose to stay open and you don't responsibly help your environment and take precautions, that's irresponsible. Um, but, hey, government, you want to say shut it down? And that's not what our president's saying. It's not what I saw yesterday. He's not wanting a massive shutdown and a crash. And yet, different factions of the government are ordering these things. And why? If you choose to go out and eat at a restaurant, that is your choice. And a lot of people would fight me on that and say, well, that's irresponsible. You're going to endanger other people in the restaurant. They've made the same choice. If we went out and ate yesterday, we made a choice to go into public. And guess what? If that in fact caught us something, which the chances of catching just about anything, the flu, a cold, the stomach virus, etc., are pretty high anytime you go out and interact with people. And, there's chances of this. We made that choice. And somebody might say, well, yeah, somebody else didn't make that choice. What if you have the virus? Well, that other person also made the choice to be out. Either we choose to put ourselves in self-isolation right now, or we choose to get out and have some common sense. Wash those dang hands when you get out of the toilet. Wash them more than often. You know what? One of the tellers yesterday we were dealing with was wearing, the protective gloves. Hey, God bless her. I don't look down on her for that. If she wants to wear a mask, that's great too. If she feels like she's sick and has symptoms, don't go to work. Don't go out if you feel like, oh my God, I have this dry cough and I have a fever. Use common sense. Don't go spread it around. And everybody's like, incubation period. But the thing is the people who are out and living their lives the same as they did prior to this scare are making a choice for themselves. And again, you can sit there and say, well, that's not right because you're endangering other people. How are you endangering other people? They have chosen to be out too. If you choose to be out, you're choosing the risk. I understand this. I understand keeping our business open. I'm choosing the risk that somebody could come in and be sick. But you know what? The other people coming in are also assuming the same risk by coming in. Now, do we have extra safety measures in place? Yes. Have we even stepped up our already very hygienically friendly environment? We use a lot of really natural but effective cleaning products, because the one thing you don't want to do is have such a harsh cleaning product that it makes people sick in the long run by the use of it. One of the things that we use here at our business and have been using even more is a hospital grade ozone machine. Overnight, set it on a timer because you don't want to breathe that stuff. But that is massively effective at killing bacteria and virus, etc. So we're using that more often. And you know what? It's a good idea. We use it anyway to prevent this exact situation. Do you think that in Wuhan, where this whole issue started, if they had the same sanitary mindset as we do here stateside and most people use, that it would have occurred like it occurred? I don't know. I don't really know where this virus came from that seems to selectively want to work more on the older and the sick people. We could go into the whole conspiracy theory of that. I don't know. I don't have the data to make that decision. It does, a lot of things don't add up, but that's also because we don't have all the information. We have the news media hype of, 1 million people in body bags by the end of the year, is what we're led to believe by the media, which in the reality, a few people will die from this disease, but they may have very well died from something else too. So, and my heart goes out to anybody who does lose anybody to any disease, or people who lose people to alcohol-related diseases. Had a kind of heated discussion, and I was probably over my bounds on Facebook. Somebody posted, oh no, don't close the bars of all things. And I'm like, yeah, God forbid. we'd close the bars. The people die every night leaving a bar because they go crash their car or kill somebody else or die of alcohol poisoning or ultimately die of cirrhosis. But we're not going and shrink wrapping the bars and closing them down. We're not going and shrink wrapping the liquor stores and closing them down, nor are we closing down 7-Eleven for selling cigarettes, which is responsible for way more deaths annually than any disease. How many diseases are a direct result of smoking? And you don't see people banning that. No, we tax it. And I'm not saying we should tax the virus. But do you understand the difference here? This mass hysteria. Yes, a few people have lost their lives, and God bless them, and my heart goes out to them. But how many people are losing their lives daily? Honestly. So I'm not here to rant and rave about this. What I am here to remind you is see something, decide what it means, challenge yourself to take the action to make it the best you can. Yeah, we see we have a problem here, and I'm going to use this situation as an example. It is a problem. Decide, what does it mean? What are the chances? I mean, we're not all going to get swept into the ground in mass graves, and the end time is not here, guys. Okay, stop behaving like that. But what I do decide is it is not going to stop us and crush us and take us down at the knees as a nation. And business owners and people who work for small businesses don't stand for it. Don't let local, state, or national government come in and say, you're closed, you can't operate. They don't have a right to do that. We have a right to be open. We have a right to be outside of our homes. We have a right to our own health care. We have a right to be vaccinated or not vaccinated for anything. We are not under a socialist control. We have rights. And I'm really not seeing the ACLU or NAACP picking this up too quick right now. And they do a lot of yelling about everybody's rights when it comes to, getting free benefits for this, that, the other. Well, I want a little support backing up the local business owners. I want a little support backing up the working class folks who bust their butts every day. And it doesn't matter what your last name is, what side of town you live in, what color you are. The people that are making this society function, not the lazy people who are sitting back going, I want to depend on somebody else to take care of me. Now, it does not include the severely disabled and people who are really, truly in need of assistance. God bless you. That's why we have these things in. But 18-year-old male graduates high school and is in perfect health and gets benefits of some sort? No. I don't care. I don't care where you're from or what your excuse is there. BS, go to work. You're an elderly person who's got a degenerative disease or something tragic happened or something on that order, hey, that's what these benefits are for, Social Security and everything. We are supposed to take care of this person. And at a community level, if you know an older person in your community who this is affecting and all this, what's going on, or they need some help, gosh dang, drop them off a bag of food. Yeah, it might make all the difference in that person's week. But my whole point to this is we cannot just shut everything down. Would it be irresponsible not to take extra precautions right now? Yeah, none of us want this thing spreading and getting any worse than it is. So using it as an example, you go, okay, challenge handled. We've taken all the precautions we can. Now, business as usual. We need to, you might need to adjust a little bit, but carry on. Use more precaution, but carry on. Don't sit there glued to your phones. I see this all day long. Oh my God, guess what they just said? Oh. And it's like, whoa, chill here. Just a little bit. Just because it just said it on the internet doesn't mean it's true, number one. I think we've all seen a bunch of bunk posts about a lot of stuff over the past few months, not only this thing, but the other thing is people are just, they're fixated like before a hurricane. And if you guys don't live in Florida, you don't get this mindset, but the media does it every time, and my family calls me, no, you need to get out of there. Everybody's going to die. And then the storm turns and, everybody wants to run back to Home Depot and return their generator they bought. Speaking of which, okay. Taking that, see it. You see what you've done. If you've gone out and bought 82 rolls of toilet paper or cases of it in your spare bedroom or your garage is full of toilet paper, understand something. When you return that to the store, these things and these extra food and that, they can't use it. They're going to have to destroy it. You're ruining the economy if you return it. If you were, crazy enough to go buy cases and cases of it, just understand you're not going to buy toilet paper for a while. Don't expect the retailer to take it back because you knee jerked. Okay, so decide that, you know what, I'm going to take some responsibilities for my actions and challenge yourself to learn and grow from that and go, okay, it's good to be prepared. Guess what? It's always good to have a little extra something on hand. Let me ask you a question. Do you have a generator in your garage that's functioning and you check every month and make sure it fires up and works? You might say, no, we don't live in a hurricane area. Well, why wouldn't you have a generator? You don't know what could happen to the power grid. We live in an era where terrorism is always a possibility and so forth. Do you have some backup communication? Do you have a little extra put aside in case of emergency? Interesting. That would be challenging yourself to go, okay, I'm prepared if something were to happen, but I'm not freaked out about it. You see the times we live in, you decide that, you know what, it would be smart to have, some backup plan. And then you challenge yourself to how do I do this in a reasonable fashion that is not psycho and where you're not, glued to your phone or your TV all day long. Hours and hours are being lost right now. People are not showing up at businesses. It's funny, we went out to eat the other night at a restaurant that we haven't been to in a while. We were the only people in there. And I thought, wow, this is kind of nice. Usually they're so slammed. And they were so grateful. And they're like, nobody's been coming in because of this virus. And I'm like, interesting. I said, don't you think that it's important to, support each other? We're all local business owners. And they were like, yeah. So we get the check. It's $29. And it was like, oh, wow. So I had two, all I had was 20s in my wallet. So I put that down and, about a $6 tip, but they were really, really accommodating, and I'm figuring, okay, well, I'll just, when they bring it back, I'll take my 4 and leave 6 for the server who is, good. And I was like, I looked at Jen, I said, you know what, let's just go. Leave them the 40. It's not going to make the end all to be all, but it's going to make them feel supported as a local business that, we showed, okay, you know what? Number one, they did. They took good care of us. They were really awesome. But number two, that it just a little contribution. It didn't make the end of the world. But what if every person that did actually go there that day just left $4 extra for the server? Is that going to maybe help that person in the event that somebody knee jerks and closes their place of work down for 2 weeks and they have no income? But see, these are the things I'm talking about to make that difference. Challenge yourself to make a difference on a level that, isn't insane. But if we all stepped up a little bit and go, you know what, our small businesses are suffering. And let me tell you, small businesses are the backbone of this country. Do a little extra. Maybe you're not comfortable with eating in a public environment right now. And that is your decision to make. Go get something to go, order it delivered. Use your local businesses. Make sure that we're buying more than toilet paper. Make sure that you're not freaking out and not attending what you normally attend. Again, like with our auction business, guys, if any of your folks are watching from that, we've done the ozone treatment and we will continue doing that. And, we've stepped up the cleaning to even a higher level in both of our businesses, that and the gym. We're very concerned with cleanliness. We've done this to promote your safety, but please don't go, oh my God, I don't want to go near them. And if you really don't, or you're not feeling well, on the auction side, you can leave a bid. We'll bid for you. We'll proxy you in. Or on the gym side, we can always do a remote session. If you're really that concerned, I'll train you just like this through a screen for now. But don't just, oh my God, I'm not going to the gym. Oh my God, I'm not going to my trainer. Oh my God, I'm not going to the auction. Oh my God, I'm not going to, eat at the restaurant. There's always an option. One of the, companies I contract with to do car auctions, they're doing it in a virtual way for the next few weeks. See, to me, that makes a little more sense because you go, all right, We don't want the huge group of people, and we do get in that environment a huge group of people from all over the world traveling in and out. Okay, so instead of going, oh my God, knee jerk and shut down, let's run with just the staff, which chances are we're all pretty darn healthy, and we'll do the virtual. We're still going to deliver to the customer, the client. The people who work there aren't going to be put out of work and starved out. The company's still going to make a profit. They may not make as much, being as though it's kind of a different environment initially this week. So, maybe it's nobody prospers as much this week, but it's better than sitting there going zero goose egg, nothing. This is what I'm talking about. Take different precautions. Maybe you do things a little differently, but don't stop the flow, guys. The minute we stop the income flow and this country gets shut down for 2-3 weeks, forget about it. You'll come out, you'll unbury your heads from the sand, and we'll be the United Socialist States of America. You can't allow shutdowns, force this, force that. Send a message loud and clear. We're not going to allow this panic to shut us down and turn us into, being locked down in military, driving up and down the streets and not being allowed out of your homes. That is not what this is all about. This is not where it needs to go. What it does need to be is us showing each other support and us also taking responsible action. Don't be dirty nasty. If you're sick, stay the heck home for a couple of days, get better. Don't flood the emergency room. Stay the hell out of the emergency room if you have a head cold or a little tummy ache or this, that, or the other. Don't go running and getting tests if you have no reason to get tests. Don't bog that system down. Leave it open for our first responders. Leave it open for the medical staff who's going to be in contact with a lot of people, and you need to know if they're testing positive for this and, get them treated accordingly. But don't freak out. Use common sense. That is the whole deal. See what's going on around us. Yes, we have a challenge. Okay? Decide what it means to you. It means that we're going to have to be smarter, but we're also going to have to think for ourselves and get off of the media and the social media. My God, let's challenge ourselves to send a message to the media that they are supposed to do something, one thing, and do it right. And they don't very often lately. Report the facts, not the sensationalism, not the repeated video of the poor girl in China being shoved around by these guys in these big space suits and shoved in a room and beaten down because, they took her temperature, and, that same role is going and going and going. And we're like, oh my God, that's going to be us. We're all going to be contained and put in facilities. And no. Unless you allow it. Now, if you allow it and you roll over for that, that's okay. But the problem is that's the isolated scenario, not the overall. Spoke to somebody who's traveling through Japan today, and they're like, I travel all the time. They're fine. And it's not this massive pandemonium, and not everybody's in lockdown detention facilities. And, some of the governments have done some really weird stuff to, right now over, in the eastern side of the world of what's going on with this. But, there's no need for military lockdown, etc. But we also got to send a message to the media that if you don't start reporting the facts instead of sensationalism and, causing all the fight between the Dems and the Republicans and all this and stirring the racial stuff, we are not going to support that media. If you can't get it right and do it right, send a message loud and clear, not so much to the media, to their advertisers. If you can't promote and you can't bring accurate news, we're not going to watch. And your advertisers, we're not going to do business with them. Okay? Guess what? The advertisers will put the pressure on them to get it straight. Is it always going to be a little sensationalized? Yes. Is it out of control? Come on. If you can't tell me that you think the news media is out of control, tune off now, please, because you're listening to the wrong person. If you honestly believe that the media is promoting everything accurately right now, just click off of me and go watch that and live in hysteria and panic. And I'm not saying take this lightly. I am saying overall, take responsibility. And this isn't only about this. This is about your life in general. Focus is off of everything else right now for most people, unfortunately. But do you see what allowing your focus to be gravitated towards one thing instead of your own personal growth, your own business growth, your own career growth, your own family? And can you decide to get that focus back on your business, your career, your family, your loved ones, where your future is? Because we do have a future. That's the thing you got to decide to go, you know what, I have a future on the other side of all this. And then challenge yourself to not focus on it all day long. And I hate to be bringing it all back into your focus by talking to you about it, but it is a prime example of how people get so distracted from what they're supposed to be doing that everything collapses economically, emotionally, physically. You're going to get sicker if you're stressed out. I'm a stress management coach. I am a sleep sciences coach. I've slept like crap the past 2 nights. Is this stuff stressing me out a little bit? Yes. Am I actively taking action against those stresses? Yes. But it's not easy when you're bombarded with it all day long and people are behaving very radically and downright stupid at times. Yeah. But see, now at this point, I woke up this morning and I was like, I didn't have this show all mapped out. A lot of times I do, I don't script. You guys know that. But, I have it ready to go and know exactly what the topic is and where we want to end up and what the outcome is. And my outcome today is to eliminate fear in everything that you're doing and stimulate common sense. I don't want us to blindly go, nothing's wrong, nothing's wrong, nothing's wrong, everything's perfect, the Pollyanna lifestyle. There are challenges, but this corona and other stuff is not the only challenge you're facing every single day. There's a lot of people facing a lot of challenges. Get your focus where it needs to be. Get your focus on solutions, not on the problem. We know what the problem is. We know what the problems are right now facing society, facing our health. You know what? We are in a health crisis. It's called obesity, heart disease. It's called compromised immune systems. It's called, all the chemicals in the foods that we're eating. It's called lack of nutrition. It's called being excessively overweight. Look at our youth. Oh my God. The millennial population is going to have more health problems than the baby boomers. Look around you. I mean, and I'm not picking on anybody. I'm not one to pick on somebody for body style. I was overweight for a while. I got out of shape. My health was, in decline, and that's what set this all off. But look at a lot of your millennials. I'm looking around going, they're the heaviest group I've seen. Absolutely, eating garbage. And there's some that are absolutely enlightened and doing awesome. I love our millennials, some of them. No, I love them all. I love everybody. And that's why I do what we do here. But there is a truth to be told that the health is declining in the youth. People are having a lot more health issues a lot younger, but you look and it's obvious why. They're excessively overweight. Their eating habits, their sleeping habits, they're drinking Monsters instead of getting a good night's sleep. And people say, well, your generation drinks coffee. And, some of the younger generation does too. It doesn't matter. But guess what? Coffee, as long as it's an organic, healthy coffee, is good for your body. Unless you have an intolerance to caffeine or something else in there. But, there's a lot of antioxidants and great stuff. There is nothing good in Monster or any of those other fizzy, purple, ugly, nasty tasting drinks that make your heart go like this. When an 18-year-old athlete drops dead on the field because they drank a Monster or whatever it was, that's heartbreaking, and then people are like, well, you probably had an underlying heart issue. Very, very well possible. Lots of different reasons for that, guys. And I am not bashing anything in particular or anything in a little bit of moderation, nor am I bashing like I used the example of where I was having it out about the alcohol thing of people worried about liquor stores closing and stuff. And actually that was all a big joke. And I had to offer my sincere apology to the people involved because they were like, lighten up a little bit. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. But unfortunately, there's people that fervently believe that. They're more worried about the liquor store, the 7-Eleven running out of cigarettes than they're worried about Whole Foods running out of fresh vegetables. Okay, so that is a bigger health concern. But I was like, you know what? We do need to lighten up a little bit because everybody's so uptight and so upset that is destroying their immune system, that is destroying, their heart, everything, the stress, the continual stress, that low level constant stress right now is absolutely devastating to people and creating fear. So I was like, you know what, you're right, we got to lighten up. And I gave some smiles and some apologies, and then yesterday my stress popped up again, this is not a poor me, but losing a really good friend who we're dedicating this show to, Tom Russell, who is a dear friend of mine, fellow auctioneer, probably one of the most amazing fathers, husband to his wife, great son to his parents, great friend, great asset to our industry, and just a true friend that you don't come across people like that very often who have your back no matter what, no matter how often you see each other, how many years it's been, passed away way too young. And I am dedicating this show to Tommy because I don't want the memory of a great person to go be just totally ignored because of all of what's going on in the world. You know what? His family hurts as much as somebody who this virus may have gotten somebody in their family or any other reason. So keep that in mind, guys. This virus is not the only thing to be concerned with in life. It's not the only thing to be prepared for. What it is a wake-up call that in closing today, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this with a firm belief. The stronger your body is, the cleaner your immune system is, the healthier you are, the better you are going to fare when something, an injury, an illness, a disease comes at you, notwithstanding getting hit by a bus. Even that, if somebody's strong, there's been people who have been struck by a vehicle who can make full recoveries. There's a gentleman that I met once and I was very inspired, recovered from a skydiving accident. He didn't move real well. He was still walking, and he was in massive recovery and was using Taekwondo as a main way to recoup his body, but he had broken more bones, I think, than Evel Knievel in that fall. So there is no saying, but he was very fit and very strong. That may have made the difference of him living or dying and being able to stand up and take control and see that he still had a life, even though almost every bone was broken, decide to do something about it and challenged himself to get back up and to rebuild himself. But my whole point to this is, if you're taking care of your body, you're taking care of your mind, and you're taking care of your soul, and you have that faith, you are going to come at anything a lot stronger. You're going to see it for what it is. You're going to decide what it means, and you're going to challenge yourself by whatever means. Maybe it's your faith that pushes you forward. Maybe it's the fact that you believe that you're unstoppable. Maybe it's how well you've taken care of your body. Whatever it is, I want you to CDC it. See it, decide what it means, and challenge yourself to the best approach to it. Guys, live with faith, energy, always live your dreams, live with passion, step up, and keep moving forward. Don't let this be the ruination of a beautiful nation. I can almost be a poet there. But seriously, let's take care of anybody in need. Let's support our local businesses. Let's support our country. I mean, I am not by any means anti-governmenting this. What I am saying is we're not going to tolerate the knee-jerks that are going to put us out of business if, the government so sees to make a couple weeks shutdown overall for all businesses, etc. Just be prepared to write a check, Gov. That's the deal. And not 6, 8, 21 weeks later, with FEMA. Immediately, okay, we want you to close for 2 weeks here. Here's enough to cover your payroll. Here's enough to cover your electric. Boom, boom, boom. Anybody in business shouldn't be so tight that, if they had to close for a week, other than their operating expenses, that they would crash and burn, although some are new or could be in that position. I'm not being anti-government here. I love this country. I believe our government does the best it can. Unfortunately, it is very divided right now, which makes it very difficult for our commander in chief to, really take control and get stuff done when every time we turn around, everybody's mudslinging. And, I'm not blindly saying every single thing Donnie does is right, or he says it right all the time, but I believe in our leadership of our country right now. I believe that that we have somebody in there that is truly trying to get us to fare through this and not create more panic. So guys, band it together, whatever side of the fence you're on, and it shouldn't be a fence. When it comes to politics, whoever can really do the best job for each individual sector of government and who really has the true best interest of the nation at heart and not these wacko side trip people that are way off base. I don't care what you call yourself. If you really have our best interests at heart and you're really striving to make our country the best it can, that's what it should be about. Yes, there's two parties, or well, more than two parties, but really two parties. But instead of fighting with each other, find some common ground and go, okay, what can we agree on, number one? What's most important, number two? And number three, the things we don't agree on, how can we settle to not make that a big battle and try to pit half the nation against the other half of the nation in the process and become what we are? We're America. We are the greatest nation, and I say that from the bottom of my heart, in the entire world. And when you see and you meet people that have come from somewhere else, and you have people going, oh, well, they have socialized medicine, or oh, they have this, and these people are so thankful to be in this country, so thankful to not have to dig worms out of the ground to eat, so thankful not to worry that if they have a female child, that she'll be killed at birth for population control. So thankful that they don't pay 85% in taxes, although they have free health care, but they got to wait in line for a loaf of bread. So thankful that they make more than $3 a day. What is it? 68% of the world lives on $3 a day or less, and I'm borrowing that from Tony Robbins, but it's true. Think of it. How would you like to live on $3 a day and live in a shack and everything else? But that's okay because the government gives some things to those people. How about we stop focusing on what we can get and what we can, and focus more on what we can give? How can we deliver back to our great nation? How do we deliver to our great people? And I realize that you may believe differently than I do. When it comes to your spiritual beliefs, you may have a different tone of skin or a different eye shape than I do. That doesn't make us any less Americans or not Americans. What I do, say is, if you're going to come to this country from somewhere else, do it right. Because when you come here and you run over a border or you sneak in the bottom of an airplane, we don't know what you're bringing in. We don't know if that person who snuck in is a person who's really in need of asylum. I don't think we turn away people in need of true asylum that are in, fear for being killed by their government. Or we don't know if we've allowed a terrorist in, or somebody who does have a major communicable disease, because if you don't come in the right way, you are endangering this country. And I stand by that. I will stand by, I know lots of people have come here from somewhere else. As a matter of fact, probably 99% of us, unless you're pure-blooded American Indian, have come here from somebody else at some point in life. But if they had to do it the right way, everybody should have to do it the right way. If you have nothing to hide and you're not a terrorist, you're not harboring some kind of horrible disease, you're not trying to circumvent our system, then we pretty much have allowed a lot of people to come here and become citizens and have done it right, and they're amazing people, and I know many of them. I know a lot of first-generation people here that are amazing people, but they walk through the doors the right way. And that's what we have to worry about more of, how do we do things in a way that protects everybody and still allows us to open that safety to a family in need who's, afraid of being murdered because they want to believe in God and their country says they can't, or they're that if they're not the religion the country says they're going to be murdered. Well, that doesn't happen here. But keep in mind that that also allows me to have the right to worship, practice, believe whatever I want. So if you believe differently, don't believe that we want to change this to a different nation. And using the word God in government or on government buildings, etc., let's face a reality, guys. You know, maybe you have a different name for God than I do, or the next guy, or the next guy. But most people have a higher power that they believe in, and it's usually based on love and in compassion, and it's a great thing. So stop trying to take that out. And if you don't agree with the exact name of what somebody else is calling their God or their creator, just respect enough that they have a belief and a strong belief in their creator. So, I know I'm rambling at this point, but it's time to step up. If you're here, you're in this country, make it better. You, not waiting for the next politician to make it better. You make it better in your community. As a community, make it better for those around you. As a state, make it better. Make things so that it's more friendly for people to succeed. As a federal government, as a federal level, let's make it more to where the states aren't fighting the feds and the feds aren't fighting the states. There's some things that aren't worth fighting about. And then there are some. Our freedom is worth fighting for. Let's face it. Don't take my freedom, because I'm a law-abiding citizen who tries to create as much positive in a community. So don't try to say you're going to disarm me, or you're going to tell me that, my business has got to close, because of something that's going on somewhere else, or make it easy for everybody to succeed. Make it a little tougher for anybody to freeload. Make it easy to succeed, tougher to freeload, and we'll have a better country. But remembering, we're all Americans. Reach your hand out. If there's a brother or sister in need out there, step up at a community level. There are people in need, in true need, who need a little bit of help. And usually they're the ones that have the hardest time getting it from a federal source or a state source. The ones who really are trying hard, are usually the people that have it the toughest. So bring it back to our community, help each other grow, get a little bit more tolerant, and let's take on this challenge that's been thrown at us that none of us asked for. But let's start handling this like Americans, like strong people. Let's step up, be there for each other, and live with some faith. And I love my faith. I love our country, but follow your faith, whatever that faith is. Have faith that this is all going to pass, and start living in a way that we're stepping up and getting stronger and banding more together. So I'm really going to close off this time, guys, because I'm getting texts that are probably saying you're way over time. Get off. So live with faith, passion, energy. Always live your dreams. We are here for you, guys. If you're freaked out, you need coaching, you're not sleeping, you're stressed, you need health coaching, you don't want to go to your gym, or your gym's been closed and you need some online training, God, reach out. This is what we're here for, to help you, because this is coming from a mission, a passion of the heart. I'm not always right. You're not always going to agree with me on every single thing, but I think we can all agree it's time to band together, step up as strong, working class, business owning, U.S. loving citizens, and show and make our country what we want it to be. Make it amazing. Make it a place for growth. Make your home a place for growth. Make your business, base it on, if your business is all about money, add something to it that makes it more about community and more about growing. Doesn't mean that money and profits something you should be allergic to. God bless you. If you're making money, you're obviously delivering value. But don't ever forget that as a business owner, and I'm talking to our fellow entrepreneurs out there, Yeah, we want to make money. Yes, we want freedom. But when the day is done, make sure you are adding more value even than what you're receiving. In the long run, you'll get more. But add value to people's lives. And you might say, I'm not a business owner, Lou. I don't care. I don't care what you do. Add value to somebody else's life today and see how well it pays off. Live with faith, energy, passion. Always live your dream. I am signing off. Coach Lou, wishing you an awesome day, guys. Stay safe. Stay